From sunrise until sunset, and dusk until dawn, every minute of every hour of every day. On the front line, it's key workers keeping our country moving, putting themselves at risk to keep others safe, for the vulnerable, for the sick, for the young and the old. We rise to the challenge. We care, we protect, we help, we fix, we deliver for everyone. We will get through this, and it's thanks to our key workers. We're proud to represent heroes, and not all heroes wear capes. Key workers deserve recognition, protection and support. Get us on your side. Join us today.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening package from GMB. On behalf of Hermes Couriers, welcoming Ed and Susie to you tonight. I'm Steve Garlick from London region, here with Ed and Susie in Mick Rich's absence, and hopefully we'll be covering a lot of different aspects of tonight. So I'm going to just introduce you to both Ed and Susie, whoever wants to introduce themselves first.
Go on, Susie.
Thank you. I think everybody knows me now. Susie, Northwestern Irish region and Vice Chair of the National Reps. That's me.
Wonderful. And here's Ed.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Ed. I think you all know our two faces by now, but I'm the rep for the Midlands and East Coast region, and together with all the other reps who helped me immensely, I'm the chair of the national committee.
Thanks very much for that. Here we are for another event where we try and answer questions on behalf of members and deal with some of the issues that you've got, and also tell you a bit more about what's going on with the union as well. I think Ed is going to be able to tell you a little bit more about sort of what our plans are this evening and some of the aspects that we'll be touching on. So I'll let Ed bring the board up to tell you a bit more about what's going on tonight.
So we just thought we would still have an agenda in Mick's absence. So we've done the welcoming introductions. We just wanted to give you some update on the start of a new pay claim for this year. One of the big things that we're all going to, well, a lot of careers are facing is switching to SE Plus, and I just wanted to update you on that. I just wanted to look at some of the things, certainly the bit about living with fear and working with fear, just a lot of things that have come to us in the last month or so from you yourselves, the members. I just wanted to have a chat about one of those. And again, just the GMB notice board. I just wanted to have a quick chat as well about the WhatsApp groups. And then, of course, the most important part of the evening is we throw open to you, the members, to throw your questions at us.
Perfect. So just a couple of quick messages coming in from Jason and Mark, just saying good evening to everybody there. Well, welcome to everyone who's joined us already. I know the numbers are starting to also go up. We will spread the message later as well about some of what we've got for the later joiners as well. Ultimately, we're just at the early stages of the pay claim for 2021, and obviously I know a lot of people have certain requirements and needs they'll want to put forward, and we are also mindful of changes to the amount of packages that are coming through the network since we started the year. It's still been pretty much an onslaught not entirely sure what the last few days have looked like since we've come out of a sort of a semi-lockdown state. But hopefully,
Busy, Steve. I think busy. Back to peak volumes again. I think today, Steve, and certainly yesterday.
oh well, there you go. I'm just putting up. There's a message from Barry Stanley here. Any issues with Yorkshire and Derbyshire, feel free to contact him. His email is just coming up on the screen there as well. And we will be displaying these later because there is on the slides. There's some of this. So just to let everybody know that everyone's very accessible from this perspective in all regions, and we'll talk a little about that. And I'll also try and make sure we take some time out just to remind people of the work that the union does and the fact that we've got Union Line. I know I also mentioned, I think it's probably as good a time as any, whilst we just people are still joining us, to mention the fact that we have Union Line. If you're attacked, as an example, by a dog or a vicious cat, I don't know, or any other creature when you're delivering to a home, Union Line are there for you to contact and help you get a claim off the ground to make a recovery for the costs. I think it'd probably also be worthwhile tonight having a recap over insurance as well, just to touch on that, because there's been some questions since about how you can be insured, what you can be insured on, whether the policies in place are the right ones. Further message just from Jason that he's put up his email address as well, and we'll make sure that we get to share these with you towards the end. And then also, you're all ever so welcome to drop messages in where we can reply back with individuals' email addresses as well in the chat. So there is a way for us to reply back to you on the stream chats, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And obviously, we'd be ever so keen to do that. Emma Wallace has just come in as well. She's got her email up for queries, and I will display them for a little bit longer. I'll let Ed and Susie now take over and give you the overview for the pay claim and what's going on.
Okay, so pay claim 2021. Hopefully this year we'll be on time for June, which is our anniversary date. Surveys will start going out to couriers probably in the next couple of weeks. We would like you all to return a survey. Without your views, there will be no pay claim. Whatever goes on the surveys decides what goes in our pay claim for this year. We negotiate on behalf of SE Plus and workers only. You may, in the coming weeks, start to see some of the organisers coming into your DUs. They will be on the ground. They will be there to answer any questions. They will be there to help you fill in the surveys if you need help. There's also your reps. If you've got any questions on the survey, get in touch with all your reps. At the end of the day, though, please return your survey. That's about it, really.
Yeah, just on that one, Susie. I think it's very important that we know that this is your voice. It's not me and Susie or Barry, Jason, Emma, Angela, or any Bob or any of the other reps that decide. This is what we're going to go ahead with the pay claim. It is your voice. Yeah. So you putting on that survey what you want in the pay claim this year, it's down to you. Okay. We take your lead, right? We just go and negotiate it for you. Okay. But it is very much your voice that we want to be heard. But we can only do that if you return the surveys. But as Susie said, hopefully there'll be organisers coming into your depots shortly, so you can speak to them about all sorts of things. But they'll be there as well, to prompt you to complete the survey. So that's great. And it's moving again. We've just finished one pay claim. We're on with the next one. You all now have a taste of what goes into a pay claim, how it's done, and at the end of the day, when this is all done, you will get the vote again as well. Okay. So just moving on, if I can move the slides on. One of the big things coming up is switching to SE Plus. Okay. I know a lot of you are trying to switch. I know a lot of you have had problems. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is, we have to be very, very clear about this. If you're not going to switch to SE Plus, you are going to lose your rounds. Okay, that's not the GMB's decision. That's the company that have decided to go for a full SE Plus model. Okay, now we as the GMB, we negotiated SE Plus. We are very proud of SE Plus. So what we want you to do is switch to SE Plus. Okay, now what we are saying is that the first round, that is couriers that became SE Plus after June last year, they will be in the first round, where you will be contacted, and possibly very shortly, within the next few weeks, by Hermes and hopefully by us as well. We'll be looking after our members, that you will need to switch to SE Plus. Okay, or your rounds, you will lose the round holdership on that round. Okay, and you will move to be a cover courier. I know it's a big upheaval for some, but please, if you have any problems, and we've still got problems coming in where CDMs have said, no, you can't go SE Plus. No, we haven't got time to do it. You have to wait another year. That is absolutely rubbish. Okay, your CDMs now should be concentrating on getting you SE Plus as fast as possible. Okay, if anybody meets any resistance, has any problems, please let your rep know, and we will deal with it immediately. Okay. I think that's everything on that, but I just wanted to alert everybody that the switch is on now. I know a lot of you have switched because of the pay claim and are switching anyway, but those that were SE Plus after June last year, they will be in the first wave that will, if they don't switch, will lose their rounds. Okay, so I need you all to seriously think. If you're stuck about it, if you're not sure about it, if you've got more questions, your reps are there to answer the question. Okay. If you can't get hold of a rep, your regional office can help you. Me and Susie are always available. So please do not, if you're still worried about it, have any concerns about it, please get in touch with us and we'll answer all the questions we can. So just moving on, if I can sort this out. Right, now, this is one thing that I'll be honest with you, I'm very saddened. Over the last few weeks, I've become aware of couriers who have issues every day. Okay, they are bullied, threatened, they are mistreated, they are put to the back of time slots. There's parcels withheld from them. It's disgraceful. Okay, we will not tolerate it. Steve, Susie, myself, Barry, Jason, Emma, all the organisers, we will not tolerate this sort of behaviour towards our members. But what has saddened me most is that there are couriers out there, and possibly and hopefully watching in tonight, who are frightened to tell us about those issues because they live in fear of backlash from CDMs, from other couriers, from DUCs. That is not right. Okay. Now, what I'm asking is, if we are a collective, right? We are all in this together. Okay. We need to pull together on this, because we can't carry on like this. We've started to see the back of the bullying, and I'll be honest with you, I thought we were moving forward, which I think we are. What I'm really worried about is those people who are frightened and really, really scared in just telling us they have a problem. Okay, and sadly, over the last few weeks, I've been contacted by couriers who have said, "Look, I've been waiting to raise this with you, but I just daren't." And when I've asked, it's through fear. Okay, and that saddens me. Okay, so what I would ask every member out there, every member watching, right, and pass it on to other members. If you see this going on in your depot, you see a courier that's bullied, that's frightened, speak to them, right? Tell them that it's okay, okay? Put them in touch with a rep, okay? That's what we're here for, right? Let them know they're not on their own, okay? We are a collective. We need to show each other solidarity in this beyond belief, okay? Because it's the only way that those couriers will come forward and share their experiences. And only when we know what's going on can we then tackle it and put it right, Okay, so please, I beg all of you out there, do not let another member going on a morning to a depot and be frightened. If they're bullied or threatened, please do not let them be frightened to raise their head and just let one of us know. Okay, and I'm sure Steve will agree. There are ways we can deal with things without naming them, and we can protect them as best we can. You know, it's absolutely shameful that in a modern day of work that we live in, that couriers actually are frightened to go into a depot to collect their parcels. I actually was told recently of a courier who was that fearful, that worried of going into a depot that she had to pull up on the way to work and was literally physically sick on the side of the road just through the fear of going into her DU to pick parcels up. I will not allow that to carry on. Okay? I don't know whether you have anything to say on that, Steve.
Yeah, I'd like to make a really important comment on this front. Ultimately, a comment was made to me by one of the regional managers. Oh, well, nobody else has a problem there. Nobody else is complaining. Well, you know what? That's because nobody else is being bullied. Nobody else is facing this when they go in, because frankly, the DUC and in this case the CDM is behaving in a really unprofessional, unreasonable manner. And from my perspective, this isn't right. This isn't on. And I promise you, I don't care how big they are or how important they think they are. People deserve dignity at work, not
Absolutely.
because it is anything other than the right thing, the proportionate thing to be. I expect people to treat each other in a similar fashion, but I can tell you now, woe betide anyone who crosses on this. I will tell you that we had, or I was able to procure from a member the messages from a particular manager, and the messages did get the manager into trouble. What was really disappointing, though, was the fact that his boss, in effect, said, "Well, I told people not to put anything in black and white," which just tells you where this is going. I don't care who, what, or where, whether, just as I do with any other organisation, I'll call out anyone because that's my job. And obviously, I've got a little more power to be able to do that because obviously I'm outside the organisation and therefore they can't do anything to me. So if you're worried about that, go to one of your regional organisers. All you need to do is call up your region, whether it's London region like me, Yorkshire, Scotland, Midlands and East Coast, wherever it is, Birmingham, West Midlands, Wales and Southwest, all of the regions, North West and Irish. You call up your regional organiser and say to them, you know what, I've got a problem. Could you help me here? Because obviously they can't escape from somebody like me. And that's what we've been taken on to do. We've been taken on to advocate on your behalf. So believe you me, I deal with bullying in all sorts of organisations on a daily basis. And I promise you, I like to take the bullying back to the bullies because, as far as I'm concerned, you go to work to earn a living for you and yours, and to have that taken away from you, or to be fearful, or not to be earning it, or have the threat of having rounds taken off you, frankly, doesn't float my boat, and I know it doesn't float yours.
Thank you, Steve. But I beg you, me and Susie are couriers, okay? We know how bad it can be. We've been there over the years. But the one thing I would absolutely beg each and every member to do is please don't let this carry on in silence, okay? We now have a partnership agreement, a recognition agreement. We have reps, okay? We will take this to the company. Just like Steve said, we will not allow this to carry on. So please, I've absolutely been saddened over the last 3 or 4 weeks where I found this is still happening, okay? That couriers are just too scared to even tell us what the problem is, okay? Please do not let this continue, okay? Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
So we shall move on. Okay, I just wanted to have a chat while Mick wasn't here and covering probably more important things. There is the GMB notice board. I think Carl showed you all, for those who were here when Carl showed you, if you go onto the Google search engine, which I can't do live at the minute, but if you go onto the Google search engine, if you type in GMB Hermes, click search, it is the #1 link in the search engine. You just click on the link and it will take you straight through to the GMB notice board for Hermes, and it's got everything on there. It's got all the frequently asked questions we put on there. It's got all the agreements on there. And again, I've had couriers recently saying, how do I work out my pay? The agreement is on there. The model is on there. And again, you are running your own business, okay? You are self-employed. It's in your interest to know that agreement, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you can challenge it. You can say, actually, I've added all this up. I've looked at the agreement. If I'm paid for all this, I'm being underpaid, right? And then you can challenge it. We can take it through our DCFs for you. We can take it to national for you. It's information that's there for you that covers every aspect of what you do, okay? And it will be updated in line with the pay offer that we've just voted in. So we really do want you to go on there, read it, get to know it. It's your terms and conditions basically for the way you do your job, okay? So and we keep update. We will update the information. We will try and do all those questions that maybe tonight are not answered. Me and Susie will backtrack over them, type them up, and then Mick will post them on there. So it's a continuous flow of information on there for you, but it's there for you, okay? The WhatsApp groups, I think, do a fantastic job, okay? I was in a meeting with the Yorkshire region earlier on today, and I think one of the things that, for me, the WhatsApp does is allow communities to build, okay? It allows us to share information, which is fantastic. But what I have noticed recently, those WhatsApp groups are getting busier and busier and busier. And it's a fantastic problem to have, okay? Because we're getting more and more new members, okay? The problem is, if somebody has got a problem, linking back to what we said before about please don't be silent, put it on there and tell other people, fantastic. If you want one of the reps to see it, okay, and you want us to react, you want us to come back to you, please don't use that as your only form of communication with us. I think that's where now it has its limitations, okay? If you want to get hold of one of the reps, later on these slides, I've got all the reps' email addresses. Please email us, okay? I came in the other night. I came in about 7 o'clock. I looked at my WhatsApp, and I think in one region, I think it was actually yours, Steve, 172 unread messages. And me and Susie are overviewing 9 regions that are doing that. Yeah. And again, your reps, they're working couriers, and they come in on a night and they have to wade through all of them, trying to pick out what's important. It's fantastic. It's fantastic that you're all sharing information and talking to each other and building that community. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I hope that continues. I just don't want important information or urgent information to get missed because it's gone on a WhatsApp group and it's gone way up the list, and we've missed it, okay? If you've got something urgent, there's your regional office, there's your regional organisers, there's your reps, there's me and Susie, there's Barry, Steve, all of the regional organisers and all of the regional reps. Please email them, and then we can get back to you in a much more effective way. Okay, like I say, it's just that limitation of the WhatsApp groups at the moment.
Ed,
I was going to say, I've got a question there.
Yeah. Just before I go to Luke's question, Stephanie, in about 10-15 minutes, we'll just do a quick recap to let everyone know what's missing. You won't be forgotten, but basically, the only thing you will have missed is the lottery numbers that we were giving out for the share for everyone in the meantime. So sorry about that. We won't be able to repeat those.
Missed them, Steve. Should have jumped in earlier.
Yeah, no, but we will give a recap over some of the stuff that we've talked about. Luke's question, though, is about how we resolve this.
Okay.
So I'll let you both lead off on this.
Do you want to go first, Susie, or do you want me to go?
You go. You like this one.
Okay. I will be absolutely honest. Okay, I have seen bullying across this network in ways I never ever thought I would ever see. Okay, I've seen grown adults, men and women, brought to tears by a disrespectful manager who thinks they can treat them like a slave. Okay, who thinks they're there to be exploited and treated disgracefully. I will not allow that to happen. I just won't. Okay, wherever I find bullying, I will tackle it. Okay. Now, who speaks to senior management? I have a direct line to Connor Ormsby. I can pick the phone up anytime I want. That's an arrangement me and Connor have. Any one of the reps can do that. Okay, Susie can pick the phone up. The other people we have an absolute direct line to is all the divisional managers. We've just met with a lot of divisional managers this morning. Okay, and again, I'm sorry, I don't believe, and again, I'll probably get criticised for this, but in all the dealings I've had with Connor Ormsby, he doesn't agree with bullying either, and he has seriously addressed some of his field team who are guilty of that. Okay, there are CDMs that have been sacked because of the way they're bullied. Okay, but it goes back to what I said earlier. If we don't know it's happening, we can do nothing about it. Okay, but all of your reps have a direct line to the company at any time. Okay, we can send an email, we can pick the phone up and talk to them. Not a problem. Okay, Connor and I have a weekly catch up, and I've raised these sort of things with Connor. Sometimes it's Friday, sometimes it's Saturday. I have literally brought it to his attention. As you know, we had a courier who was asked who's covering his round while he was laid in a hospital bed only recently, having had a heart attack. That CDM is being dealt with. Okay, Connor was adamant with that. He was not taking any prisoners with that. Okay, and that's still ongoing, by the way. And
can I just add to that as well?
Yes, we
had a courier attack the other day by a manager in the east of the region as well. And frankly, you know, I haven't still got the answers I need. That will come up at a meeting tomorrow for manager. The regional manager is there because, frankly, I want to know that manager's gone. If he's prepared enough to attack a courier and scare everyone else, then frankly, A, this isn't a job for him, and B, frankly, I would be surprised if they can retain somebody after that, because frankly, it's wholly inappropriate. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No, Steve. Absolutely, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was.
No. It's the thing. Look, I hope this is telling you what's going on. But frankly, can I just talk about one other thing, Ed?
Feel free, Steve.
What I call the apprentice syndrome, where people think they're on an episode of The Apprentice. I'm a hard manager. Look how I'm setting an example to others. Look what I'm doing to show my bosses what a great manager I am. People like this have no idea how business really works, because you've really got to be able to sit around the corner and around a table with people and have a conversation. If you can't have a proper conversation with an individual where it doesn't denigrate into them either threatening, bullying, or behaving in a certain fashion, then frankly, you need to be dug out. And as I said, anyone will be happy to do that. Just before I go on, Jason put up a really interesting point, and I didn't know this. If you need to contact the regional rep, just put the ampersand in front of the name, like my name, like the @ sign, and it will start to come up on WhatsApp. So I learned a new thing tonight, so that's quite good. Just let you, Mark Turnbull said, don't forget the contacts in the depots as well. Peter, I'll bring up your question in a minute because I interrupted Ed. And I know he might have some more commentary here.
Can I just go back to that bullying point? That not to forget that sometimes you're not by yourself. You may have an issue where you've been bullied. Somebody else in your DU may also be having the same issue. And to remember that we are actually a collective. I had an issue in my DU about 18 months ago. We actually did a collective grievance, and the manager in question has since been removed. So it's things like that to remember. We are a collective, and if we act as a collective, we can actually make progress as well.
Absolutely, Susie. Yeah, I've forgotten about that. No, absolutely perfect example. And when Susie did that, it was one of our first actions as a national rep. And to be honest with you, there's quite a few frightened of her now because she did that. And managers now step round her, okay, which is what we want. We do not want these managers getting a foothold and keeping careers in fear. Management by fear, yes, we all went through it. It's gone. We will not accept it or put up with it ever again, okay? We now have reps, and the reps are there to support you. And it's absolutely, and thank you for bringing that up, Susie. If you've got a problem in a depot, there will now almost certainly be other members, GMB members in that depot, okay? If they're having the same problem, come to your rep, we can put a joint grievance in. And they really do work, as Susie's just said.
On the back of that, no courier in my DU was named in the grievance, so it can be done anonymously. I did the grievance under my name. It was my head that was on the block, so to speak. Nobody else was named, but it was still done as a collective grievance, and the result, well, she was removed.
Yeah, I think that's important, very important. That in a collective grievance, the rep can put it in their name, and you are protected. You need never be named in it. You know, I mean, Steve will have all sorts of way beyond the things I can think of ways of protecting members. Because sometimes, yeah, members are frightened, and yeah, some of these managers would backlash if you raised your head and said, actually, the way my manager speaks to me is unacceptable. Okay, we will not tolerate it. It's as simple as that, and there are ways we can deal with it. Okay, and like Luke said earlier, he's absolutely surprised it's still going on. I'm going to go one step further. I think it's unacceptable. It's still going on. Okay, absolutely unacceptable. So we need to stamp it out, but we need to do it. Okay, not just me, not just Susie, not just Steve, not just Bob or Jason or Barry. We all need to do it. Okay, so if you see it in your DU, then basically we need to know about it. Okay, and try and support the members in that DU. It is unacceptable. Okay. Was that a question from
Peter Case? I put a question up from Peter, which is what's being done about the late lorries every day, later and later depot openings? And I know this is basically sort of system wide.
It is. Well, actually, Steve and Susie will verify that I was in our DCF meeting this morning, and the thing about DUs opening late came up. I absolutely went for them managers, and I was about to lose my temper with those managers because I wanted them to say, and they did in the end, that DUs have to stop opening late. We have an agreement with Carl Leon, the Chief Operations Officer of Hermes. Yeah, not a DM, not a CDM, not a DUC, almost the top man in Hermes who made an agreement with us that DUs open on time. Now, as you know, I've put out on the WhatsApp, I'm trying to gather as much information, okay? Now, I'll do it now while we're live, and I'll put it on the WhatsApp groups. What I want to do, we have a national meeting next week, okay? And I want to go and hit this as hard as possible, okay? Now, I can only do it with your information. If I go and they say, well, you know, what DUs are opening late? And I go, oh, well, these two. They'll go, well, it's only two. You're out of 700. You know, is that? I think it's a lot more than that. Okay. Now, me, Susie, Barry, Steve, Jason, we can't be in every DU every day. We need your help. Okay. So what I'm going to ask, and I'll put it on the WhatsApp, on Friday, I want as many of you as you can to send in an email, and all I want you to do is put time in the subject box and put your start time that you should be open and the time that you actually opened. Simple as that. 3 bits of information, and then we can go to Hermes next week and say, actually, there was 400 DUs who didn't open on time. Well, this is unacceptable. Okay? And it is unacceptable. Okay? Because Hermes want us to professionalize, right? Be the top couriers. So we take on all the stuff that DPD do, and we do more than that. Okay? Yet the supply chain to us is shocking. Okay. Now I am going to go and tell Connor that next week, but I would like to go and tell him and be able to put a graph up in front of him and say, out of 700 DUs or 708, I think there is, this is how many will lay open on Friday. Okay. Now our meeting is on Tuesday, right? So I haven't got much time. So I'm asking you all on Friday to send that email. I know it takes you 2 or 3 minutes, but I can't do it without your help. But then me, Susie, Barry, Jason, Emma, we will go on Tuesday and say this is unacceptable. Okay, because it is unacceptable. Because if we carry on sliding back in time and another little bit, some of these DUs will be opening at 12 o'clock. You won't be getting on the road till 2 o'clock, which is unacceptable. Okay, so please, Friday, everybody send me what time your DU should have opened and what time it did open. I'll put it on the WhatsApp. So that's what's being done, Peter. We are not ignoring it.
I'm just going to Peter's other question before I then go back to some of the stuff on the bullying and some of the other questions that have come up. Peter's also mentioned more and more packets that are started now that next to using them. Lots of 1 to 30 and to 1.4 kg, which are no longer packets. I don't know if you can comment on this, Ed, at all, because obviously it looks like a repetition of how some other companies have behaved in the past when they've misled overweight.
Okay. Yeah, look, it's an ongoing problem. Okay, that is why, as part of the pay claim, we realised that the couriers were doing more and more upgrading, and the £5 admin didn't cut it anymore. Okay, so couriers come to us and said, look, we're spending an hour now a day upgrading and checking. That is why we went, and as part of those negotiations, we doubled that admin payment. Okay, now the move from 1.3 to 1.4. If you say it like that, it sounds really bad. What I would like to point out is we started with 2K packets, okay? Right, 2 kg, right? That was a loss to couriers, and I think, they were eye-watering. Let's be honest, it was eye-watering. I think, I don't think Bob will mind me telling you, and myself, people like me and Bob, we could have lost in the region of £3,500 to £4,000 a year. Your couriers on a slightly lesser rate. We were looking at, Susie, what was your loss for that on 2 kg packets?
About 1,800, and I am the lowest paid rep, and that was my loss for the year.
So literally, we brought them down to 1.4. We were not letting them get away with it, and believe you me, that's still on the cards. Hermes want 2K packets, 2 kg packets, right? Okay. Now, I think what a lot of people are doing are seeing the link between them going to 1.4 and Next starting packets. Okay, that is not the case. Next have always had a packet rate as part of their contract. Okay, if you look at it, a lot of the stuff is less than 1.3 anyway. I've delivered some the other day that they're less than 1.3. So there was no reason they couldn't use the packet rate at 1.3. Okay. 1.4, I don't think is significant. Okay, what I would say is there are other companies who have been fleecing the system, because what they've been doing, they've had their contract with the packet banding. Okay, but then what they do, they use C2C parcels to then go up to 2 kg. But if they're doing that now, those parcels will be coming back down to 1.4. If they want to send 2 kg packets, they go back up to standard for us. So I still believe it's a win for couriers, but I would still reiterate, I do not believe under any circumstances the move to 1.4 has anything to do with Next looking to start and come on with packets. Okay. Thanks, Steve.
No worries. I'm just going to bring up both Marks have commented on the bullying aspect, and there's also Martin has commented on it as well. So I'm just bringing these up. Basically, couriers need to be educated about how to recognise bullying. Also add that bullying from couriers to other couriers or different stuff isn't tolerated. There is a further point here from Martin, obviously, even in Guernsey. But Martin, great to see you coming in from Guernsey to join us. And then another comment from Mark Turnbull here, which is really no DUs where the CDMs or everyone's pally, so everyone's sending. Yeah, we need to know about this.
Can I just jump in there, Steve? Sorry. Mark, if you've got information, you can come to me or Susie or your own rep, come to us privately, let us have the information. We can then at least decide how we can best protect couriers and keep their names out of it. But thank you for bringing that up, Mark. But if you can contact us after this meeting, and please, send us an email, get in touch, a private WhatsApp, a text message, but please get in touch and let's have that information. We will not allow it to go on, Mark. Thank you.
KJ's put up your email. No, you're good. KJ's put up your email address in the chat as well. There's a message up here from Sneaks to 11. What are you went to do when genuine arcades are rejected, e.g. barcode hasn't been seen in the last 3 months? Any answers on this?
Yeah, right. First of all, you yourself can challenge this, okay? All you have to do is get the barcode and put it into tracking. myhermes.co.uk, you can track it yourself. Now, when that shows that, say you put it in today, Tuesday the 13th, you send it in, and at the end of this pay period, was it 2-3 weeks away? I think it's a 5-week, the one this one is, it's a 3 weeks away. You then get a rejection saying the barcode you delivered today was not seen in the last 3 months. Put it in the tracking, send the tracking to them and say, actually, if it wasn't seen, how come I delivered it on that day? Because you can actually track these yourself and throw the information back at them. And couriers who are doing that are now getting the upgrades back again. Okay, if you really don't know how to do it, or you need some support, that's what we're here for. Okay, that's what your reps are here for. I know quite a few sent barcodes to you, didn't you, Susan? You tracked them all, didn't you?
Yeah, I have done. I've also managed to get back some of the missing payments at RDCFs for unpaid barcodes not seen. So if you're stuck, send them to us. We'll challenge them on your behalf if you can't do it yourselves.
Absolutely. But it is a way to track it yourself. Just you can track the barcode yourself, but then send it back to courier admin saying, here's the tracking. If it wasn't seen, how did I deliver it? And they're putting through, they're putting through the upgrade after that.
Game Over, yes, put up a very salient point that they're asking couriers to sort for free. You just shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be.
We do not work for free.
No,
sorry, Steve,
nobody works for free. Game Over said that where do we send it to? Any of us, just email anyone if you've got information that you think is important, including those who are basically being asked to sort for free. It doesn't work like that. Nobody comes to work for nothing. And if they are, then we want to call them out because that's like gangmasters. It doesn't work. It's illegal.
Right. Can I just say, because we've actually raised this in one of our RDCFs, and we actually had the DM for that region go back to the couriers and say, you shouldn't be working for free. Okay, that was from the company. Okay. Now, the concern we had, and we put it to the divisional manager, and we said, yeah, but if those couriers stop sorting, that means the DU will be open late. That DM said, absolutely not. It's up to that DU to still be open on time. But we do not work for free. Okay. There was a leaflet done by the Yorkshire and North Derbyshire region. If I can get all of it, I'll pop it on the WhatsApp group so you can pass it around. But again, I think it was something I put on Facebook. Couriers do not work for free. Okay, we're not slaves. We are not here to be exploited. We do not work for free. Okay, if they want us to sort, then there's a minimum wage payment per hour. It's as simple as that. Okay, but can I just also say, I do think some couriers now are getting a bit tired of it because they're going in and doing 2 or 3 hours sort, and then they're having to go and do a 10-hour day delivering because of the volumes. Look, be sensible. Your job is as a courier delivering parcels. You're not a sortation person. I appreciate, and I know I've had some backlash of couriers who say, well, we do it, we want to, we volunteer to do it. But again, that's your choice. But I still believe we should not be working for free. Okay, and you should also not be working for privilege. Yeah. Oh, you've got a privilege of getting your parcels first. No, I'm sorry, it's still not good enough for me.
I think that's absolutely right. Mark Turnbull's also mentioned late manifest here, and I'm also pulling up. I'm going to pull up 2 or 3 in one go. I think Paula's just saying she's getting Sports Direct sending packages through clearly.
Upgrade.
This is, yeah. But if we
Upgrade
go back
and get your
to,
admin payment.
but also obviously this late manifest is like ongoing the whole time. Mark Goggins is also talking about the fact that DU is closing early and people not getting back in time for replen in effect. Obviously this is an issue. I thought we'd hit 3 at once that way, because there's so many comments coming in.
I was there. There'll be starting to come in. Okay, so we need to know that information, Matt. We can take that to an IDCF for you. I know me and you've had conversations, Matt, and I honestly, forgive me, I can't remember where you're from.
Northern.
Northern. Oh, thanks, Susie. I know me and Mark have exchanged things on WhatsApp. Send us the information. We have. When's our next IDCF, Susie? With Northern.
2 weeks today.
2 weeks today. There you go, Mark. We will take that to the IDCF for you. 2 weeks today. And it's not right. You need to be allowed to get your second run. So I'm just reading the question. No, again, look, yeah, Luke, it's been raised. It was raised at the last RDCF. We're not going to be able to wave a magic wand, but again, it's all right as raising it at the RDCFs, which is what we're doing. I now also want to take it to higher management, which is what I want to do next week, because I don't think it's right, Luke. You're not getting out on the road till 12. They want those couriers to be as good as DPD, better than DPD, better than Yodel, better than Amazon. We're looking at our main competition being the Royal Mail now. Yeah, you see all those delivery people out and about while we're still loading. Sorry, if they want us to be better than them, then we want the service to us to be better as well. Okay. So no, Luke, it's been raised on the RDCF. I absolutely promise you that. I will be raising it if we can get those times on Friday to really give me the power to go and say to Connor, this ain't good enough. Okay, but I need the data. Okay, because if it's one or two of us that can brush it aside, okay, when it gets to out and going there and say, Connor, 400 DUs late opening Friday, unacceptable. It's got to be sorted. If Connor can't sort it, I'll go above Connor. It's no problem. Carl, being the chief operations officer, he overviews all the depots, and it was Carl that made the agreement with us. Okay, now that agreement that subs up on time, as I'm well aware, has not been rescinded. Okay, and I pointed that out to 3 divisional managers in a meeting this morning. Hey there, Steve.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah. No. Right. All right.
No, sorry, I thought you could hear me when I was talking.
No.
I thought myself okay, so Luke has obviously put up this point about the 2-hour distance between Plymouth and Penzance, which is just mad.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I don't want to see people delivering at 9 at night.
No, it's ridiculous.
It's not right and it's not fair. And people deserve quality of life. If they're withholding, they think it's clever, then it's about time they're called out for it. Val Myers has put up the following question. More and more manifest parcels are coming through the system. Why is it happening? How can it be stopped? And to go back on Luke as well, unpaid sorters. Yes, Luke, there are plenty of people who are not being paid at sub-depots, who are not being paid for the job they're doing. And CDMs either on ducts basically say, well, you've got the benefit of either delivering early, so aren't you the lucky one? Or B, I'm doing you the favour by letting you in here early so we can get the parcels out. That isn't a reward. Nobody should be rewarded by that and then see other people sitting on the sidelines waiting.
Can I just say about the unpaid sorters? Okay, I think it's something that we have to seriously consider might hurt us initially. Okay, I think we need to be prepared for that. That if all the sorters, free sorters around this network just went, no, we're not doing it today, there would be chaos. Okay, the use would be late, you'd be out on the road late. That will hurt us. Okay, but then it gives us, the reps, chance to jump in and say, there you go, your network can't run without an army of volunteers. What are you going to do about it? Okay, while we're not prepared to take the hit, Hermes will allow us to. Okay, they will allow us to carry on working for free. Okay, yeah, and look, this is not a stab at the UCs by any stretch, but again, they will then have to look at their model and challenge Hermes and say, look, we can't do it without an army of volunteers. Okay, and again, that's where we need to go. And sometimes we've got to lose the battle to win the war. Okay, just something for us all to think about, because I know people have said before, yeah, but if we all stop sorting, we're not going to get out on the road till 2 o'clock. It may take that to happen to actually stop it. Okay.
Val has mentioned the 15 kilo dumbbells that came through as a 1.5 kilo pack. Peter Keys saying 2 kilo packets coming through as postables.
Final attempt and send it back, Peter. Simple, and you get paid because you've done your final attempt. But if it doesn't go through the letterbox, which it probably didn't, okay, send it back. Final attempt, you will be paid. If it comes back to you, keep sending it back and let me know.
Yeah, you know,
I'll
they
let
can't
Jason
keep
know
doing this.
Because Jason's your rep, so let Jason know as well.
Paul Parker said, "What's the latest soda should be getting the parcels?"
I get mine. I've had a long-standing agreement with my depot for 10:10. I would say that's about fair. I would say it depends how far you are from the depot. Again, I know people who get them about an hour before me. I've always been quite happy with 10:10. I did try and push it back to 11:30, and all the couriers just weren't happy with it. And we've had later vans, and we've all said no, we're not going to accept it. And it's been pushed back. Sometimes we get it at 9, 10 o'clock. That's a ballpark figure. I would suggest that's okay. Others may say absolutely not, but that's worked for me.
Paul has asked, where is this tracking?
Paula, if you get the barcode of the parcel that you delivered, which will be on your manifest, okay, go on to www.myhermes.co.uk and just click track parcel, pop the barcode in, and it will give you all the tracking.
Just put Hermes tracking in. Just Google Hermes tracking.
Yeah, I'll Google Hermes tracking. There you go.
Yeah. Paul has also said, look, she's got herself some luggage scales to check the expense as well.
Best way. Yeah. Can I be honest with you? I had a courier who said to me, yeah, but that means I've got to buy my own scales. I said, look, eBay, you can get some for, I think, what did he get one for? About $6.99. He came back to me about 3 weeks later and he said they paid for themselves twice over. I'm now not getting ripped off.
Yeah. Peter's come back with another point. We've heard about it at various sub depots. If anyone's listening in from where we are aware of this, let's see whether Martin Allwood is going to do something about it. As an example, we're aware of it at some other sub depots as well. I don't know if anyone else wants to comment from the group.
Yeah, Rianne is Peter Key's divisional manager, and she's been quite adamant that, I mean, I think this has been investigated, Peter. Now, the information that's coming back is those that were not wearing masks are exempt, which we have to be careful of. I cannot I can't contest that because I'm not in your DU. If you have other information that says that's not correct, let us know and we'll check it back to Rianne. But honestly, Rianne has been, and again, Jason's is listening in tonight. Take it to Jason as well, but Jason actually brought it up, and he's brought it up a couple of times for you. But Rianne is absolutely adamant. If they should be wearing a mask, not exempt, couriers could actually lose their job. Okay, I've had one in my region. 7 times he was asked to wear a mask, and they just said, "That's it, enough, out." And he's come to me saying, "Can you protect my job?" And the answer is no. I know you're a GMB member, but you were foolish. You were walking around prepared. Let's be honest, to risk somebody's life. Not acceptable. But no, sorry, Pete. If you want to come back to us on that, with that I've just said that it was investigated, but Susie will back me up on that. It was, yeah. And we have the minutes of that meeting. I have the email that came back off Rianne, who said, I think it was the Salters, as I remember, and the DUC. I think was it the DUC? You'll know anyway, so, Peter, because and they absolutely went and investigated it, and they said clarified it will. They were exempt, so that's where the challenge finished. But if any more information, Peter, come back to us.
Okay, there's a message up from Melissa Zacharides about the payments. I think Peter Keys asked the same also in the chat.
Yes, right, okay, they may be paid, and it's not a guarantee, we're hoping the payments are made before the next invoice on an ad hoc payment. Hermes are going to try and get that done. At the very latest, it will be paid in the next invoice. And just while I've got everybody on, while we're just talking about the last pay deal, just an update for you all. We've had numerous questions about the holiday system. When is the new system going to go live that checks out the restrictions? It goes live at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I was informed by that by Connor at about 4 o'clock tonight. So that's the latest information. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, the holiday system will be updated in line with the pay deal, and you can book single days for everything. And while we're just on about that, I know there's questions. Can I just remind you all, I've done it on the WhatsApp, but can I just remind you all, your carry forward days must be used by the end of next month, the end of May. Now, with that holiday system changing, you can just book if you've got 2 days standing, you don't have to waste a week. If you've used all your single days, that won't matter now. You can book just those 2 days, but they must be used or you will lose them. Thanks, Steve. I just wanted to get that update in.
Yeah, no worries. Just to let you know, obviously, CB has also put up a question about the requirement to provide personal details in order to receive the £250 payment hidden within the voting registration with no previous reference to the necessity of this. This is something I'm not personally aware of, so I can't speak to, but maybe you'll be able to.
Yep. Okay. It's been a very contentious issue, this. Okay, this £250. I'm going to be very brutally honest. Okay, if you didn't vote, you're not getting it. Okay, and I know that sounds harsh. Okay, I mean, I'm very disappointed that members, after the fight we've had to get members a voice, they chose not to vote. Okay, but in the voting process, you had to tell us, one, that it was okay to pass your details on because that was part of voting. That Mick made it quite clear, I think, in a news brief, that you had to give you details that we were going to pass on to the company. Now, I actually had 2 couriers come back to me and say they were not going to do that because they didn't want their details going to the company. That was their choice, okay? But we don't know your worker status, or the state, whether you're SE plus or worker. We don't know because we do not have those details. But every courier who's a member, we don't, okay? And so we needed those details to pass on to the company. And we don't have all your courier IDs. We needed those to pass on to the company. So that's why those details were required when you voted, okay? But can I just remind you that £250 payment, right, should not have ever existed, okay? It was only £350 for those that were before June the 9th last year. We just wanted GMB members to really benefit from the pay negotiations that were delayed. So it was only through negotiation that £250 got added, and it was only for GMB members. So that's why we needed your details. Sorry, Steve.
No worries. I'm just going to go on because there's so many questions I want to try and
I'll try and get quicker, Steve.
No, it's okay because I've just realised that we, obviously picked lots of questions. Paul has said that there are couriers that go to the Southern Help and Sort. Peter Key said the same as well. So obviously this is something we'll need to strengthen up on. KJ has mentioned or asked about the ESP payment, being told they need to wait 3 months, even though it was their incompetence to load it in. I don't know if you want to comment about that.
That was taken to Connor yesterday.
Yeah, it was taken to Connor yesterday, and they're going to look into that for you because it's not right. They're going to sort that out for you.
Mark Coggins has made a real valid point. Frankly, it shouldn't be about couriers having to chase time in, time out to get some of this done. It really shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
And it is ridiculous. Martin said, look, 3 years ago, challenged the depot about our parcels being artificially held back, and couriers not allowed to collect until everything was done. We hear this quite a lot, where we hear about CDMs basically not bringing the shutters up, having coffee, cigarettes, and things like that, and frankly, it is just ridiculous. Peter's just also asked the question: what happens if GMB can't get Hermes to comply with points of the agreement? Well, it's simple. Just like I've just done with Yodel, I went down the ET line, and and in effect, we've now basically got a settlement from them. That was over a failure to pay money we put in for 19 people. They've now reached 137 people. Haven't been paid correctly, but we believe it's even more because they were so worried about that going all the way to a tribunal. Frankly, I don't care who I challenge at the moment. We're running 2 tribunal cases from London region for Hermes couriers. No, nobody is that big that they can't be taken out. I'm mindful at some point we need to take a brief pause just to recap some of the stuff that we've already discussed earlier for the later arrivals. I haven't forgotten what I promised earlier, but it's just gone on a bit longer. Just something, this Paula, stats on couriers, this is a breach of GDPR.
It is.
Okay, if somebody's putting up stats on the wall to try and make a league table of who's best or whatever, tell them that they're breaching. Are you at Hemel Hempstead, Paula? Because if you are, and the individual in question is doing that, I want you to drop a line to me or Steve Good, and basically we'll play the GDPR game. Your personal information about what you do, how you do it, how many parcels you deliver, and everything else is your blooming well information, and no one else is to share. And frankly, trying to create a league table or stress people into what they've got to do is wholly inappropriate.
And can I just say on the back of that, Steve, with some of the conversation we've had tonight, it's also a form of bullying, putting your stats on the wall, and that's how it was used. And can I just point out, if that's happening in any DU, I want to know. Okay, get that information to your reps, because it was happening when we first formed the national committee, and I remember it was one of our first challenges in a national meeting, and Hermes agreed it shouldn't be happening, and they were actually told, FMs as they were then, were categorically told to get them down, and it must never happen. But I do know it's starting to creep in again.
Did you see Terence's message about 30 Wilco boxes for one address on Monday? There must be some limitations in a situation like this, surely.
Can I be honest with you? There isn't, okay? But can I be honest with you, Terence? There'll be couriers on here, I will be truthful with you, that would say they would quite happily have 30 drops for one address, because I know it sounds harsh, but that's where we earn our money. You know, multi-drops, I beg for multi-drops. Again, I realise size may have been a problem, but again, you know, we have the banding information on couriers online. But again, I'm sure there'll be couriers on here saying, you know, please, I wish I could have 30 drops to one address.
Martin's put up a point. I think he was, basically about the threats and the bullying. Martin, I'm not too sure whether Guernsey comes into Southern Regional Wales and South West.
It does, yeah. Emma's the rep.
Yeah, reach out to Emma as quick as you can after today's event or on the WhatsApp group, and obviously we'll try and make sure that you get the backup here. Nobody goes to work to be bullied or
nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way.
Andy said, do you think we should be paid per attempt now? This is quite interesting. More carry forwards due to safe place photo audits?
My simple answer to that is, if you want changes to things like that, complete your survey and send it in. If that's what members ask us to do, that's what we'll go do.
Can I just make a point on that? Why are the safe place photo audits resulting in more carry forwards if you're delivering compliantly in the first place?
They're not, in all fairness, are they, Susie? Yeah, look, let's have this elephant in the room. Let's have it out now. I know couriers who now are getting caught out, okay, because they were leaving parcels behind the bin, putting them over fences, chucking them over the gate, that now can't do that. That has never, ever been a compliant delivery, okay? If you are delivering compliantly, taking a photograph of where you're leaving it, and by the way, that doesn't even count when you're doing a photograph with a carried forward, because all you're doing is taking a picture of the front of the house. You should already be there anyway. Okay, I'll be honest with you, and again, let's not ignore the fact that on this call tonight or on this meeting there will be lots of members, hopefully, and 94% of the members, sorry, 94.5% of the members voted that in as part of the pay deal. Okay, so it's not Hermes. Hermes brought that to you, and you said yes. As a courier, I actually don't find it much of a problem, but I will say I will not accept any calls or any complaints that I was never at their address. Oh well, I was in, I was in. The courier didn't come. Yeah, he did because he took a photograph. Okay, that protects us as the couriers as well. Okay, same as when we're taking compliant photographs of out where we've left them. Because I never, and I know this sounds awful, over the years I've had some really lovely customers right up until they've said, "Oh, I didn't get my parcel." Yeah, did I give it to you? I give it to you in your hand. Can I prove that? But I can now with a photograph. So again, it protects the courier as much as it does Hermes. Nobody can come back to me and say, "Oh well, that parcel's gone missing." Not my problem. I delivered it and I delivered it correctly.
Just Val's mentioned no manifest on a coal yesterday, and no manifest received on HHT, so all receipts scanned and delivered. Will that be paid?
It will be paid, Val, and I think Steve will verify we've raised Newmarket and its lack of manifest, and I've even spoke to Mike McGee separately today, as well as the RDCF this morning. It was an absolute glitch. Everybody will be paid. And can I just say something? We have had a challenge yet again about how we paid for unmanifested, because effectively that's what Val's parcels will have been yesterday, unmanifested, so you'll have had to force scan them. Every unmanifested parcel, provided it goes through your HHT phone device, shall we say, is paid. We've got a CDM, I think, over in Susie's region, telling couriers that, "Oh, how many unmanifesteds have you got?" We've challenged that today because he's saying they're not being paid. I've never had that yet. And just for an example, Susie, not so long ago, had 110
unmanifested on one day, and I got paid for every single one. I'd have noticed 110.
Yeah. And Susie would have been very cross if she'd have lost 110 parcels, I assure you.
I was just going to say, Paul has put up a message about missing parcels daily. I'm going to try and take 2 or 3 in one go. Peter has brought up the 25p a mile against expenses raised. Government guidelines recommend 45. How are Hermes getting away with it? It's not near enough, but we have got pay negotiations coming up. But I know you'll be able to speak to that. And I'm just going to quickly answer Derek's. They're given an allowance that should cover all of their costs at Ducks. If they're saying they haven't got enough, then you've got to wonder how, what, and where, because clearly they are being funded for that. Just obviously on Paula's point about missing parcels, this is something we're already aware of. Martin has also brought up in Guernsey they rarely get parcels much before midday. I would imagine that's partly down to
the transport links.
Yeah, which being obviously what they are. So I don't know if you want to speak to that, and also Will, probably at Paula and Will's question where the unmanifested. How about unmanifested parcels that can't be upgraded as well?
Can I just address this? Why can unmanifested parcels not be upgraded? Because when you scan them in, okay, you will download the details of that parcel because it goes across on your machine, downloading details. When you then go into that parcel, you can click view as you're delivering it if you want, so you're not hanging around in the depot. Click view and it will tell you what the parcel is, even though it's unmanifested. And when they do update, all that data comes down with it, okay? All it means is when they're unmanifested is they're not tracking against the manifest downloaded onto your machine. It's just not tallying against, but all the data comes down. I actually checked that the other day because I actually wanted to check a parcel. I mean, I only got about 16, I think, the other day, but I wanted to check one. So when I was delivering, I just clicked view, and it's there, and it said packet, which I then upgraded.
Perfect. I'm mindful that we've got so many, so I'm going to put some up on the screen. In-flight diversions after attempt to be made have been put back on HHT by Hermes for couriers to attempt. CB, we did, just to let you know, we did answer just before this question. So if you go back on the recording, you will be able to find the answer on that. And also, I'm just going to put this up. Jason
There you
Forrest
go.
also.
That's the answer to Peter Key's question about the face mask in his DU. I told you Jason had raised it, and he's quite right. Thank you, Jason. You can read it there, Peter. Rianne came back saying the DUC and two sorters were exempt. So we honestly, Peter, we're not ignoring you. That we are literally just saying what came back on the investigation. If you know differently, feed us the information. We will go back and challenge it again, Peter, for you. Thank you, Jason, for that, by the way.
Okay, Mark Turnbull's also asked a really important question. What's happening about dangerous parcels and hazardous parcels?
Again, why I've been collecting the photographs because we've had Wilco's just saying dangerous item. I noticed somebody, some had put, I think, gas canisters on the WhatsApp today. I am literally, again, we're going to challenge this next week in the national meeting because, again, it's all hearsay. It's all, oh, well, I think we can take small amounts. We need this clarifying because for many of us, with an H&R insurance, we are not insured to carry those goods. And we need this clarifying now.
Right, so Sean's just said, since you get no admin payment for a skeleton with a 2D barcode, can we get the admin payment changed to unmanifested instead for skeletons?
I don't quite understand the question. Sorry, Steve. Just let me read it. Can you read that? Have you gone on to that, Susie, while I'm catching up? Can we
No, I haven't.
Payment changed to...
Since you get no admin payment for a skeleton with a 2D barcode,
well, the thing is, though,
can we get the admin payment
right, okay.
changed?
Yeah, sorry, it took me a while to get that. The thing is, it's not a skeleton. Well, it is a skeleton, but you're paid to do the admin, basically. So now you're doing no admin with that because if you're scanning the 2D barcode, it should be just putting the details in. Then you're not having to enter the details. So Hermes would fire back on that in all fairness and say, well, you're not inputting the data. You're just scanning a 2D barcode. If there are manifested skeletons and they remain skeletons, you will be paid for them because they've gone through your manifest. They should pull them off your machine, but I can check with that for you. Not a problem.
Okay, Mark has asked a question. Can you take more than 2 weeks off if you go on a SAT to SAT? It's 2 weeks and a day.
Well, I would say yes now because all the restrictions have gone as of 9 o'clock in the morning because that was the deal. And be very careful what it said in the heads of agreement that they would remove the holiday restrictions. I think that's the wording, isn't it, Susie?
Yeah. And so, also you've got to bear in mind now, whereas before you book a week and that would encompass the Sunday, even if you didn't work Sunday, you can book 6 days. Then if you don't work Sunday, you'll have a day off, which you're not booking. Then you book your next 6 days. Then you've got, say, the Sunday, and then you book your odd day. So it's not a 2 week and a day block. It's 6 days, and a day.
So, but the restrictions are removed as of 9 o'clock in the morning.
So David Owens has also brought up the question about the Condescending memo about committing to the national living wage.
Very quickly, I mentioned this at the beginning about the GMB notice board. On the GMB notice board is the SE Plus agreement. Now, in that agreement, if you go and look, it tells you everything you paid for and what you're not paid for. So travel to and from the sub, overnight storage, except there's a whole list of what you paid for. At the back of that agreement is the model, which gives you the exact calculation of how it's worked out. So go and have a look at that, and that will tell you exactly how you work out for national living wage.
Mark's asked a very interesting question here. I'm getting parcels on the HHT as standard, but a package on manifest and vice versa. What are my wages based on the HHT or the coal manifest?
Both, basically. Again, if you can send us some evidence of that, if you could you get that evidence to me and we'll challenge it because we have a Monday meeting with Connor. So if you can get me just 1 or 2 examples, I'll challenge that on Monday because that does need sorting out.
Angie said her accrued holidays are valid. She's emailed you, Ed. CB,
I'm going to look into that for you, Angie.
Yeah, CB. As Ed said, not only did this go out in a document from Mick Ricks, but I would imagine that also it has been commented on at some point.
No, hold on, Steve, because somebody's saying I skated over that. I take that as a challenge. The question was, why was this hidden within the voting registration without flagging it up as a requirement? Right, but okay, sorry, CB, you're quite right, I didn't answer that question. It was sent out in a news brief by Mick saying you had to give details. Now, the one thing we can't do, we can't go out and advertise and say, if you vote, you're going to get paid, okay? That's not what our voting procedure is about, okay? That's basically we're paying for your vote. We're not. Actually, CB, what we wanted you to do was vote willingly, okay? We never dreamt that there was couriers out there that have battled for so long to have a voice and then wouldn't vote, okay? So it wasn't hidden. Mick sent it out in a news brief that you had literally to give us your details. Now, that details were collected during the voting process, okay?
Terence has said he voted for this, but still shows his lifestyle on his HHT. Will this affect the payment?
Can I be honest with you?
It shows his lifestyle on everybody's HHT. It's just the way the HHT is.
It's just the way it works.
As long as you're SE Plus on the portal.
If anybody just wants to check, just go to your portal. If you've got accrued holidays or you can actually access the holiday section of that, you're SE Plus. As simple as that.
Anthony, it says you showed you couldn't do this for a Monday. Look, if you still get the info on a Monday to Ed for this, any information that he gets, he put it up on the WhatsApp group, email. Just as long as you can get the information before that Tuesday meeting, that's the key.
Right. Okay. Then that's the challenge down. Let's do it on Friday. And let's do it on Monday as well, because our meeting's not till Tuesday. It gives me and Susie a lot of extra work to gather the data. But if that's what the members want, let's do it Monday as well. I'd still like to do it Friday. But okay, are you up for it, Susie? Monday? Monday
like
is.
Yeah.
Okay, the challenge is down. We will do it Monday as well.
Yeah.
Paul Parker said his CDM says that emergency cover SC Plus is restricted and not unrestricted. I think the CDM is playing a bit of a game there.
Right, your CDM, straight and simple, is wrong. There's no. Go onto the website, go onto the notice board, GMB Hermes in Google, go onto the GMB notice board, print the agreement off for yourself. It's there for you. It's not for us. It's not hidden. Go and get it. Give it to the CDM, and I'll tell you which section it is. It's section 7.5.3, as my memory serves me right.
Yeah, it is.
Now I know that. And the reason I know that is because I was with Mick, and me and Mick together wrote that agreement with Hermes, so I know it inside out. So the word in there is unlimited. No, sorry, correction. The phrase is without limitation. How can that be restricted? So print it off, go and give it to your CDM. Any more problems, please get hold of your rep and we'll fight it for you.
I'm just going to try and get some of these up. Just a quick thanks from Martin Brown for the update about what to do. Stephanie, I had help yesterday. Somebody took 40 parcels from me, ended up with 15 carry forwards coming back. Told by my FM I wasn't taking them because if I'd have done, the person who was helping would have gone mad. I was told not to ask for help again. Again, this is bullying. It's their job to help you.
It's not correct. No. Look, Stephanie, if you can get us more information, and I think I saw it on the WhatsApp. I think you've emailed me or you put it on the WhatsApp. Can you get us more information? I think Barry's your rep, as memory serves. Please, Stephanie, get the details to Barry, and Barry will deal with that CDM. I am sure he will. And Barry's on tonight, and I think his email's on the screen in front of you, and I know Barry's watching tonight. So if you can link up with Stephanie, Barry, that would be fantastic. I'm
going to try and whistle through some of these because I'm mindful of time. And then I'm going to just say, for the people who have put up quite a lot of messages, I want to try and take some of those who haven't. And then we'll try and go back through those who aren't, and we'll get answers to the individuals directly afterwards. Tracy Wynn basically says that they're putting the stuff up on the WhatsApp group, and who's got the top 5 in KPIs. Tracy, it's got to stop. Simple as that.
It's got to stop, Tracy. Me and you spoke. I think we spoke last week. Tracy, you know me. Give me the information. because I can't remember, what was it, Erdington sub or Birmingham sub you're out of? I'm really sorry. I deal with a lot of couriers. Get hold of me, Tracy. We'll go deal with that, not a problem.
Paula says, where's the survey?
It hasn't come out yet. It is literally, it's coming out literally in the next, well, I'm hoping 10 days to a fortnight. And you would all get that. And then it's your job to fill it in. So don't worry, you haven't missed it. It's not quite out yet.
And Paul also mentioned the customers limiting the delivery to porch or household and cannot deliver.
Right, I'm going to be very honest. Right, no, we can't deliver to neighbour because if it's on a diversion, Hermes have locked it. Now, I'm going to be very, very honest with this. Myself and Susie and Mick had a meeting with Connor, and Mick was quite forthright in that meeting, and Mick was very annoyed in that meeting, as were me and Susie. Hermes have chosen to ignore our recommendation and carry on regardless. That doesn't mean it's at an end. What we need is, again, don't do this in silence. If you want us to challenge it, make sure we get the information of when that's happened to you. Any bad reaction from the neighbour, any where a neighbour's come out and you can't give them the parcel and you look like an idiot, which, let's face it, we're supposed to be delivering parcels and we have to walk away with it. We said it's not acceptable. Hermes went ahead without us. If you remember, we did get it stopped. Was it before Christmas, Susie? Before peak sometime?
It was last summer.
Was it last summer?
Oh.
Time flies. I know we challenged it and got it removed then. Get us the information, we will challenge it again. I think it's stupid. I think it's ridiculous. And we told Hermes, we told Connor that, and he went ahead without us.
Right, I'm going to quickly try and whistle through some of these and pick some people who haven't had their comments up before. Nikki H, on the pay deal proposal I voted for, it says lifestyle couriers would get some of the benefits, the uplift on collections at a 0.04 for BYOD. Can you tell me if this has happened? Claire Kirk has said, I'm just going to pause you, Ed, and quickly hit some of these.
No, carry on.
Yes, look, I drove an extra 102 miles due to not being able to leave. I'm a rural courier with gate codes and vehicle registration number plate. I've been doing my round for 10 years, never had a claim against me. I'm suffering due to the extra fuel use.
Can you get that information to me, Claire? Because that is valuable information to challenge this. So I'll get it to your rep and they'll feed it to me. We need that information for next week, please.
Right. The Vicky H's pay deal will come back to you in a moment. Anthony William Anthony Moss, can you please stop the Hermes head in Southampton main depots continue telling lies about van arrival times? Your Southern Region rep will be in on that. We've
got a meeting tomorrow, William, and by the way, I haven't forgotten that I owe you a call as well, which I'll do that as soon as I can. I've just been back-to-back meetings. We are in a meeting tomorrow. Make sure Em has that information, and we will challenge it tomorrow.
Derek said, "Is it a courier's duty to search other cages?"
No, I'm going to defer to Susie. I'm going to say no, but Susie is, and Barry, and then I defer to them because I'm not depot-based. So go on, Susie.
No, not at all. It's the duck's responsibility to search the cages, not the couriers.
That's why I would have said, but not being depot based, I didn't want to put my foot in it.
It's basically applying sorters for the job apparently in Guernsey. Mindful of the question Nikki H asked earlier. Paula, in relation to the late van payments, I think the answer is not necessarily that, because although they've got a set time now, so you'll need to have a conversation on that, because I don't think you'll get the late payments if you don't get them. If you're supposed to have them by 8:15, I'm surprised, because as far as I was concerned, no depot was opening till 9. But
that's what we've been told. Yeah, can you follow that up with us, Paula, and let us know when we can check that, because I'm not quite sure what depot you're in. But we'll follow that up for you, Paula.
William Ross has also said, can you ensure that all CDMs completely understand that GMB Hermes agreement is, because I'm sure none of them know anything. They still try and take out. Yeah, they make this rule. Oh, you'll lose your round. Absolutely.
Correct. No, William, if that is happening, right? I know you're one of the reps for the Southern Region out of Southampton, I think. Please, William, you are one of our first lines of contact in that. please make sure we get the information. It must stop. Okay.
Anthony Slater, if the CGM doesn't message you, let us know and we'll find out what's going wrong on
Yeah,
that.
they're supposed to. That's their job. That is absolutely their job.
Yeah. There's Stephen's mentioned this 2D scan. We've lost about 4 weeks
scan the
notice
2D
for holiday
barcode.
requirements.
You can scan the 2D barcode when you're scanning on the morning. I do it regularly. Yeah.
Some come up as an edit address.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I do. No, it should bring it does on mine.
So there you are. Williams also said if we need to give 4 weeks notice for holiday requirements, surely Hermes need to follow the same process if they want us to work any bank holiday.
Right, okay. Let's just address the bank holiday because it's been a big issue. Hermes need to give us 90 days notice of network closure days, not bank holidays. There is no bank holidays in the agreement, okay? What they're saying is a network closure day may coincide with a bank holiday, okay? Now, a point to make on this was if they then choose to open the network for a bank holiday, we will always make sure it's voluntary. I didn't work last bank holiday and I'm going to get my holiday pay, okay? Now, I know there'll be problems with backlog. My viewpoint is to some degree, if the network stays closed, you'd still get all the parcels on the Tuesday, which we're about to face. Because I don't think, as I'm aware, Connor said that he didn't want to open on the next 2 bank holidays, which is May. So you not working on the Monday, you will 9 times out of 10, the network's closed. You will get a hell of a lot of parcels on the Tuesday. That's just how it is.
Stephen Barnes said that if a skeleton is a large box and last delivery, it needs to go in order in a van. William Moss, just to let you know, we did answer the question on the 25350 earlier. You will find it in the broadcast. I did promise to go through some of this stuff that we haven't done on the broadcast. I already know we're 8:30 now, and I'm just mindful that I'm going to actually say that at this point, please don't add any more questions because I will try and answer the last few about using your messages that have already come in. But in terms of some of this stuff that's coming up, there are questions about COVID jabs as well, which I want to touch on and just go back over some of the things we discussed earlier.
Sorry, Ange, can I just pull you that? What was the conclusion that Susie jumped to? Did you just want to come back to us on that? That you weren't doing your job properly? Was that about the compliant photographs? So if you want to come back to us on that, can I just say as well?
We'll look for the message and I'll put it up.
If you have asked a question on here tonight and it's not been answered, if you send that question to either myself or Susie and just put in the subject, don't put it on WhatsApp because we're not looking on WhatsApp. Don't put it on Facebook. I'm not looking on Facebook. If you want that question answered, and I'm quite happy to, and we'll post them on the notice board as well. If you want to come back at us, just put in the subject bar question and email your question to me or Susie. We will then go through them, type up the answers, and put them on the notice board. Is that okay? Then everybody gets a chance to have their question answered.
Just a couple of quick ones here, though. Paula Sarantos has said, why will our CGM not show couriers their non-compliant photos?
They must.
Yeah, this is, again, they must. This is more bullying.
Absolutely must. And we challenged that with Connor on Monday. I think Barry actually brought a courier who'd had that problem. And Connor and Dan, absolutely, they must be shown the photographs. You can request that. If you're not getting them shown, let your rep know. We will challenge it.
Elizabeth, how can we fail ETAs on parcels that aren't ours and not our postcode?
You can't. Right. Why would you fail an ETA? Because if it's not your postcode, you reject it at scan and never set an ETA on it. Just that's maybe the best way to do it. When you scan it, you know it's not yours. Just knock it out at receipt scan, and then you don't even have to set an ETA on it and just green card it.
Diane, hopefully that helps you. Paula, just quickly, just email me any of the issues at Hemel Hempstead, and then I'll look into them along with Steve. We've got a meeting tomorrow. If you can get them over to us tonight, that's even better.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stop just here because, in terms of the comments and questions that we've been putting up, primarily because what I want to do is just touch on some of the things that we haven't got to touch on so far tonight. A reminder from the earlier stage for those who missed it that I talked about Union Line and the fact that contact Union Line. If you've got a dog that bites you, as an example, let the Union Line. Take care of that for you to make a claim on your behalf. Nobody goes to work to be injured. Okay. We have lawyers for this. They will also do a free will writing service for you. There's GMB Extra, where there's all sorts of schemes for discounts on various things, including meals and things like that as well. And I wanted to just let you know that beyond the activist that you can see on your screen right now, you can contact your regional organizer as well if you're in difficulty. We are keen to basically assist as many people as possible and keep that backup going. Ultimately, we want you to be able to have a successful working career and have the protection you need from the union. And ultimately, I want to remind you also that Ed and Susie are volunteers. Okay, they're not being paid for what they do here. They do this because their duty, as far as they're concerned, is to advocate on behalf of others who may not have a voice. So I do want you to remember that when they're doing this, they're giving up their time freely to assist. Okay, this isn't done with a big wad of money at the end of the day. This is done because they feel that people need a voice. So I really would like you to remember that, please. And thanks for everything you're doing. I really just want to
thank
give
you for all your
applause for
support
that.
as well, Steve, because we couldn't do it without organisers like Steve, and we had a meeting with Yorkshire region organisers earlier today. This is really becoming a fast-moving organisation program now. I remember when me, Barry, and Susie were sat in Warrington on the first lockdown, and I think we had about 500-600 members, and it was a breeze. I'm going to be honest with you. We could give everybody a response in 20 minutes, half an hour. You're going to have to bear with us now because we now have thousands of members. Okay. And again, we've got new reps come on. We've got Angela, who's the Northern rep. You saw her email there. We have Emma that's just recently joined us. We have Bob and Jason. We're literally one rep short now for the Birmingham region. So me and Susie will make sure that anybody in the Birmingham region, it gets full support. But like Steve said, the most important thing to any of those reps is you, the members. Okay? Not us, not the organisers, but you, the members. Okay? It's your voice. We are here for you, which is why we need your information. We need you to talk to us. We need you to tell us what's happening. If you're being bullied, we need to know. If your van's late, we need to know. We never get fed up of receiving emails about issues. Okay? We do not limit them. We do not reject them. We will, and Steve will verify that Steve was with us in an RDCF this morning when I directly challenged a divisional manager because he thought that we couldn't bring this sort of stuff to a meeting. Well, actually, it's part of the agreement, and we will be bringing stuff like this to the meeting. Okay, and we will not be told no. Okay, some things we can't fix overnight. Okay, some things we can, and we will as quickly as we can. Things like late lorries are going to take a much bigger fight. Okay, but we will not let it go. But you, every one of you out there, is absolutely the most important thing to us. We would not be here without you, and we will fight as hard as we can for your protection and to make sure that you have a good work-life balance. You should be happy going into work. I know some of us don't like facing 200 or 300 parcels a day, but at least we're earning money off that. We will not allow, and I personally will not allow, people to be bullied. Okay, so please, as I said at the beginning, if you're in a depot, you are members of the GMB, if you see it happen, Do not tolerate it. Even if it's not you, do not tolerate it. We can deal with it, okay? We have a direct line to Connor. And if Connor doesn't do something about it, I'll go to his boss. It's not a problem. And I'll keep going till it stops, okay? And that goes for Barry, Susie, Emma, Jason, Bob, Stephen, Angela. Have I missed anybody? I'm getting it's getting quite a long list now. It's brilliant.
We've got Adam
Salter in the south, and Paula, who works in my region. Thank you for all your work, Adam and Paula as well. You know, they work within the regions. You know, and again, all those that are contacts in depots as well. Your information and speaking to us, just letting us know, sending us a WhatsApp, a text, a quick email, letting us know. We will do the work and follow up with you and get the information if we know it's happening. So please do not any of you sit there in silence. You are professional, hardworking people. Okay, let's face it. You have seen this country through a pandemic. Okay, let's not belittle what we've done. Okay, through this pandemic, you have kept on delivering and putting your lives on the line. You deserve recognition for that. You deserve to be treated correctly, okay? You do not put up being disrespected or bullied. Let us know. We will stop it. Thank you. And thank you for tonight, Steve, for hosting this. And thank you to the London region as well. Thank you very much.
Our absolute pleasure. Look, I think it's bedtime for Zebedee now. So
yeah,
those of you who remember the magic roundabout. We honestly, we couldn't do it without you folk as well. So thanks for tuning in after a long day.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We are there with you. Susie, I don't know if you've got any last comments, like thank goodness, few and whatever.
I'd just like to say to everybody to remember that they're not alone anymore.
Yeah.
Basically, they're not alone. We are a collective together, and I think no one's alone.
No, we're not. Thank you very much.
No, we really want to protect you. Yeah, absolutely. Just to say, we really want to make sure that you are, protected at all times. And that bullying, we're quite serious about it. You know,
absolutely.
If you think there's bullying going on, you need to let us know. But look, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll catch up with you in the not too distant future. And
4 weeks time again, Steve.
Absolutely, it comes around quick, and then in a few weeks we'll be having another London evening package, but we'll probably also do one on a Sunday as well. So thanks very much for joining us. Cheers.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Whether you're worried about safety in your workplace,
getting the protective equipment you need,
or protecting terms and conditions,
we've got the resources, the advice and backup
to support you through this challenging time.
We're proving that together we can win for our members every day.
Whatever job you do,
wherever you work, full-time, part-time, apprentice or student,
we're here for you.
We are the trade union for everyone.
We never give up and we never give in.
More than 500,000 people have already joined the GMB.
And we've been winning for members since 1889.
Our family is 600,000 strong.
We're GMB. Be part of it.
Get us on your side today.